This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The Crippers, the Grasshoppers, the Hit Ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
All of our listeners jumping on now at WAAF Boston's Rock Station, also Bayou 95.7 in New Orleans, and again our friends at New Rock 96.9 The Fox in Appleton, Wisconsin. Big show for you. Random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Oh, the category's so sweet today. Star Wars and American landmarks. We'll do some men's room rules, and we will drink and toast with a shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Jesse. Welcome to the men's room.
How are you?
Hola. Doing well, Jesse. How are you, sir?
How are you guys?
We're doing good, Jesse. Doing real well. Yeah, man. All right, Jesse.
Yeah.
We're going to get personal with you if that's okay. You sound like a personable guy.
Okay. You can do that.
Jesse, what happened to your junk? What happened to your junk?
What happens in my junk?
Yeah.
Get
How about getting
infected.
junk punch?
What happened?
Junk punch.
Junk punch?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
junk punch.
Oh, you got
okay.
a junk punch. Who will punch you in the junk?
Oh, no, it's a drink, Miles. New junk punch.
My bad.
Two ladies,
Two ladies.
At the same time or on separate occasions?
separate occasions.
All right, why do women feel the need to punch you in the junk?
Well, I'm an a-hole.
Self-admitted?
And one was from a girl that decided she didn't want to fight, if you know what I mean.
No,
I do not know what you mean.
We don't
actually.
know what you mean, Jesse. What do you mean?
I take comfort that I don't know what you mean.
It's a girlfriend.
Oh, so your girlfriend.
So, there's a girl smacked me in the face, hit me with rings. Like, she had a whole knuckle full of rings. And hit me in the side of the face.
Okay.
And it was kind of a friend, but it wasn't. If that makes any sense.
No.
No, thank you.
Jesus
no,
Christ.
it doesn't. We are not tracking.
No, Jesse, your
What
world,
was
does
the
not, your
situation?
world does not make sense to us.
She has punched you in the face with a knuckle full of rings, and then she punched you in the junk. Why was she motivated to do this? What was her reason?
They were bad friends, if you know what I mean.
Good God! Damn it, man!
No, we don't live in your world, Jesse. What do you mean?
It's two girls that were fighting before I did, and I got one right in the side of the face.
Oh, so you tried to break up a fight between two girls that you knew?
Kinda.
Oh, all right.
No, they
Hey,
were already
Jesse,
before that,
Jesse,
and
who?
I got the end of it,
All
if
right.
you know what I mean.
No!
Jesse, could you hand your phone to the woman that's beside you?
That would have been my mother.
Yeah,
Okay,
please,
that's
hand her the
fine.
phone. Please hand her the phone. Oh, God.
Okay.
All right, please. Jesus Christ.
Don't get me involved.
I'm not.
Hold on,
No. You can just cut through the quick on
We
this.
just want answers now.
Yeah, okay. So what exactly happened here?
Here I am.
All right, Jesse's mom. Tell us what happened.
Hello.
Yeah, we got you.
You hear them right here.
Oh, criminy.
This is not going to get better.
Not gonna go anywhere. All right, here we go. The reason we asked what happened to your junk. This is a terrible story.
Wait, what just happened?
I'm not sure.
What?
I think Jesse is the kid from Rochester who lives with his parents.
But he was explaining to his mom how to use the phone. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean?
No, we don't know what you
No,
mean.
we don't know what
I
you
will
mean.
say in his mom's defense, I think that was one of those.
Her mom knew
because
it.
you heard her say, "Don't get me involved," and then she's
Yep.
like, "Oh, how does this work?"
You know what?
You've
She
done that.
knows her kids, so she's used to his explanations, which is you're talking to people that aren't me, they don't get it, and then when he tried to hand her the phone, saying, "I know you, I don't want anything to do with
In the
whatever."
meantime,
you tell
she's just shaking her head for the rest of her life going, I knew I shouldn't have had sex with your dad. I knew it.
God damn it!
I knew this would never go anywhere.
Shouldn't have held my breath that long.
The reason we asked what happened to your junk, this is a horrible, horrible story. A teenager who had his penis ripped off by a shark as he swam in the sea near Brazil has died. Jose da Silva was attacked yesterday afternoon while bathing in the waters off of a beach on Brazil's northeast coast. The shark struck just as lifeguards stationed on the beach had told the 18-year-old, please come closer to the shore. He died at the hospital, having suffered 2 heart attacks on the way. The man had his
One
left
for blood loss, second being told his penis is missing.
his left leg completely amputated and had veins reattached to his sexual organs in a 3-hour operation. Doctors tried to stem his blood, but he died. He had been ordered by his mother not to go to the beach following a horrific shark attack that just happened in April, in which a 34-year-old tourist lost an arm and a leg. The video, taken by a passerby, shows the moment other holidaymakers pulled Jose from the sea before emergency crews arrived. As you see in the video, he lies limp and unresponsive on the sand, gasping for air as people tried to help him keep breathing. Despite undergoing emergency surgery, his penis and femur were amputated by the bite of what is believed to be a tiger shark. Seeing that the group was drifting further out, he and a couple others, lifeguards, immediately called them in to return to the shallow waters. At that exact moment where lifeguards were yelling at him, he was bitten. The victim's father also said his son, who is one of 5 siblings, went to the beach without telling relatives where he was going because they warned him time and time again not to go, as this has been the 65th shark attack registered along the coast of Brazil. Some 80% of the incidents on that continent have occurred along the 18-mile stretch of beach. Keep in mind that involves the Cape below, where all the great white sharks are. More than 110 warning signs, 110 are installed along that coastline where the attacks have taken place.
See, that's all I need to hear.
We're not supposed to be in the water.
That's all I need to hear, man. And look, I like the beach and all that.
You know what I mean?
But you know what I mean? I'm not jumping in the water in Brazil. I'm not jumping in the water
Especially
in
at that
Australia.
beach. There's 18 miles of beach where these sharks keep attacking
Right, exactly.
people.
And that's where you went. A lot of comments coming in for our good friend Jesse.
All right,
who
what did they
recently
say?
called.
So do we misread what he was trying to explain?
No, everybody is where we are. Just see, many people just wanted us to cut the guy off. They were just like,
No, I want to figure out what's going on
listen,
there.
we wanted to understand what was happening, and I regret that I even got curious, but I did. And then everyone else is simply asking us, do you know what I mean?
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 Random question. You know what I'm saying? 844-999-09. You know what we're doing here.
Hello, Cody. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Your random question. Do you know what we mean?
I do. I have an idea, but that guy was crazy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Seeing how we're talking to Jesse there, we'll go with this one. How old were you when you moved out of your house?
Oh, man. I was like 6 hours past the age of 18.
6 hours past the age of 18.
So you're counting down the days, I'm guessing?
Were you planning this out, or were you told to get out?
Neither, actually. I went on my 18th birthday. I skipped first period to go partake in some marijuana blunts at my buddy's house. And
Marijuana blunts.
yeah, right. And
What are you doing, a PSA? Good Lord. Marijuana blunts, kids.
I don't know. And then I was with a couple friends, and when we got back to school for second period, I was in second period for about 15 minutes and got pulled out of class. And the guy started freaking out and thought it was laced or something. Turns out he was on a bunch of pills. Whatever. Screw that guy. So I got dragged out of class. I got searched. They found a stem in my backpack, a little green stem, but they counted it as cannabis. So I got emergency expelled from school. And I called my dad, who didn't pick up. So I called my mom, and she did. And then I just ended up moving up north.
So wait a minute, wait.
Apartment.
They found a stem in your bag. This was your senior year. They found a stem in your bag, and that was it. They booted you out.
Did you graduate?
Yep. No, that was it. That was it. Like they found a stem in my backpack, and they charged me with possession of 40 grams or less, and they emergency expelled me from school.
Had you been in trouble a lot before that? I mean, was this just the excuse they were looking for?
Yeah, I was searched every year for suspicion of possession and distribution.
Oh, so they always thought that you were the drug dealer, too. And was there any truth, in hindsight, was there any truth to that? Were they on to something?
Oh, yeah, totally.
All right, okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's one thing to say they always thought.
Well, no, he didn't say they were wrong.
Right, exactly.
Just,
okay, all right. So what did you end up? Did you get your GED? Did you graduate?
No. So the whole case got dropped, and I just ended up being suspended for 2 weeks, and then I went back and completed my senior year.
Oh, right. So you graduated. Okay.
There you go.
Nothing.
What do you do for a living now?
I'm actually a processor for Funco. I work on the computer and process orders.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Good for you.
I was hoping
Good.
you
Very
said
good.
drug dealer. Like, oh, no, man, I knew what I liked.
One stem seems to be a little bit
That's what I mean.
excessive.
Yeah,
So there
no,
obviously needs to be a little bit more to the story. That's why
It was absolutely ridiculous. Like that. Yeah, it was a little tiny, 2-inch green stem in my back. It could have been from a tree, let alone weed.
But it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I mean, you're right.
weed.
It could have been, but we all know. But that's how it goes, right? So, like, if you are the A student with the 4.0 and they bust you with weed, they have a stern talking to you. They're very disappointed, but nothing happens.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't like you at all and they find anything, then that's your ass. And they couldn't be happier to do it.
I had a buddy who got into a fight with his dad. They threw down. It got ugly. It got physical. And my buddy just moved the hell out. And so when
That's
he moved out,
Yeah.
he got a part-time job at Wendy's. He's still in high school.
In Mozambique?
He's 16 years old, and he's got a trailer. Now, I can't remember what the trailer was for a month. It was like $100 or whatever it was. He could cover it.
Sure.
And as soon as a high school kid that I knew got his own trailer
Oh,
and started living his
man.
own lifestyle and working at Wendy's, I am sold on the fact that at 18 years old, I am getting the hell out as quickly as possible. Like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? To me,
Sure.
it's like, I'll come up with $100. So
I don't know why stories like that. I've only heard those stories like if you grow up a little bit, you got to be outside the city.
Well, yeah, man, because in the rural areas, one, things are cheaper and you have access to stuff like that. Like if you got in a fight with the family, if you lived in the middle of the city, you went to your cousin's house. So in spite of the fact that they lived across the street, I moved out. Like, dude, I can see your mom cooking through your window.
I knew people living in RVs in people's backyards, campers, and everything else, just because, like, I'm getting out of here. And they walk 40 feet and open up their other
Right,
house.
but they moved out.
With wheels on it, you know what I mean? God damn you, I hate you, buddy. I lived back there for a week, you know what I mean? I made what I wanted to
Oh, he moved out. Oh, my
Shit.
God, where'd he go? He's in the backyard.
Jimmy,
I'm
get
like,
him.
whoa.
Jimmy, come here.
Right. Like, is that moving out?
Okay, I'm on my way.
No, like sleeping on the sofa. I moved out. I'm living in the living room now.
Get out of here. Random question. 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Men's Room rules coming up right before we drink and tell us with a shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question. 844-999-OLA.
Random.
Hello,
random,
Casey.
random,
Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
What's up, guys?
Hola.
What's happening, Casey?
Not much. Driving home from work.
Okay.
If you know what he means.
By the way, Casey, if you do know what I mean, if any of you guys were on hold, Casey, somehow you just remained on the line there, but everybody else dropped. So if you
Well,
were
it
called
says
back-
you remained on the
feel-
line, but when I clicked on you, it dropped everyone else.
Well,
I'm not saying you stole everyone's thunder, but that's kind of a D move.
Okay. Casey, this might,
feel loved.
this
Thank
might
you,
be a difficult question for you, but I think you're going to know somebody. I think everybody knows somebody. Who do you know that's been shot?
Oh, yeah. Gee.
Who do you know that's been shot? Kind of weird question. But it seems like everyone knows somebody who's been shot. Which is weird in itself to say out loud.
Oh, yeah. But I thought of like two people, but one of them I like.
Ted, do you know anybody
I'd
that's
have
been
to
shot?
say
Yeah.
probably someone I went to high school with. My best friend growing up all through elementary school, too. His name was Cody. He got shot in the ribs off a ricochet.
Ooh.
All I know is the story of it. It was a drive-by, too.
So
Damn,
he
man.
wasn't the intended target, and something ricocheted off.
No.
Hey, look, New Year's Eve in Baltimore, at least one person every few years will die because guns get fired into the air for the celebration, and a bullet will come down and land right in the middle of somebody's head and kill them. And I know that sounds crazy, but it has happened.
But
enough
every-
times
no,
where
every
they warn
year.
people not to do it.
They literally, like in the month of December, like anywhere, it doesn't matter where you're in, ding, 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 ding. Happy holidays, everybody, and a quick reminder, New Year's Eve, and they still have the real happy holiday voice. Remember, don't fire your gun straight up in the air. What goes up must come down.
We're not. I truly, I think just as many people who get shot who are not the intended target accidentally as the intended target. I mean, there's a reason
Well,
people
it
go
depends.
for target practice. You're trying to get good at hitting the target, but if you happen to miss it, you might miss the target and hit someone else.
But see, here's the difference, right? So, like with the drive-by, particularly if you're using a pistol, it's understood. Chances are you're going to miss your target. You might not hit anyone else. But like when I've lived in the cities that were violent, Baltimore being the best example, a lot of people carried guns. No one really knew how to shoot it, and everyone held it sideways, however it looked cool in the movies, right? So the aim wasn't good. They never intended to kick back. And being specific, I was never the particular target of someone collecting money, et cetera, et cetera. When I go out to the cut if there's a guy with a rifle and he says, man, don't step on my property, I'm like, don't do it, because that guy can hit my ass from 100 yards away.
There's also the guy.
You know what I'm saying?
There's also
Like,
the guy that spills his coffee in the diner who's got a right to carry permit and somehow reaches in a way where it fires into his thigh.
Right.
So like it happens all the way. So so your buddy. So the oh, he's gone. All right. So I'm trying to think. One guy in high school I knew who got shot. Two guys actually in high school I know they got shot.
I know two guys. One guy was shot intentionally. The other guy, as we all know, the East Coast. You know, you go to most bars and they'll put on closing time. You know, it's time to go. In Baltimore or D.C., someone pulls out a gun. It's time to go. And this guy, I was smart enough to leave with my group of friends. You could just sense where things were going. And I know he wasn't the target of anything, but exactly what we said was going to happen happened. Like, hey, everybody's hammered. He's now playing with this gun. We're going to go ahead and leave. Mm-hmm. And this is not a card-carrying member, right? So trust me, he's not going to exercise the same amount of safety or scrutiny as some other people do.
Reason we asked, who do you know that's been shot? An off-duty FBI agent was at a bar in Denver on Friday night. And basically, he was tearing it up on the dance floor with some sweet moves. The video's pretty well out there.
Kind of
you more than likely have taken a look at it. At one point, he even does a backflip, but in the process of doing the backflip, which is impressive, his gun falls out of his pants. It does not go off when it hits the ground. When he goes to pick it up, when he reaches down to pick it up, the gun fires
instantly
and hits a random guy in the leg. Now, that guy was rushed to the hospital. Fortunately, he's going to be okay. Cops took the FBI agent to the station for questioning, and the district attorney is reviewing the case to figure out whether to file charges or not.
Look, Ted and I had a series of questions with this. All right, look, we understand these things happen. They're going to happen. We get it. All right. So this is an FBI agent, okay? And we looked at the video, and to be fair, he's doing his moves. His backflip was incredible. The gun fell out. So one of the things Ted and I were saying, like, I'm an FBI agent. I know I'm off duty, but you have a holster to put your gun in. He just had his gun stuffed in the back of his pants.
Did the impact
right?
of the gun hitting the ground cause the safety to go off? Or are you telling me that he had this in his back of his pants without a holster with a safety off?
But what we're saying, he wasn't exercising caution at any point where we're like, dude, you have a holster. So putting it in the back of your pants seems like a bad idea. You're at a crowded-ass bar in Denver after midnight. And again, this isn't about you. This is now about
Shouldn't
the
have
other
it in there if
patrons
you're drinking to begin with.
that are there. So in the end, I'm like, look, ma'am, if this were like one of my friends, this is what I'd expect to happen because they brought another holster. But I just think, like, you're in the FBI, man. They give you everything you need to keep your gun stable. And you tucked it down the back of your pants like you're filming Boys in the Hood or something.
I have to ask.
Okay,
like, if you're KGB,
okay,
all right? Like, you don't go around going like, I'm KGB, KGB's me. Like, you don't tell people you're KGB. Or do you? Do you just go like KGB? See, in my mind,
if I don't need to know, right, I don't think
in
you would
my
know.
world, I've always just thought, like, the worst thing that can happen is, here's a picture of this guy. Now we all know he's in the FBI. Like, if an FBI agent is questioning...
Well, no, there's a difference.
There's all kinds of different
If you're in, like, the CIA or...
Could I say, hey, I'm CIA?
Well,
I'm just saying they're much more
Right,
secretive.
okay.
Like, FBI agents kind of, frankly... You're going to know they're an FBI agent unless they're undercover.
See, that's what I was
kind of
asking.
what the FBI
If you're not undercover, it doesn't matter.
I mean,
look,
if I got an FBI jacket on, I get it.
I mean, look, man, you'll see a cop. The cop's dressed like a cop. You know he's a cop. If a cop's undercover he's not going to say he's a cop. The FBI guy, we've been to a bar, and I've told this story before. I did not realize they were FBI. It was just four guys dressed very well, very nice suits, and they're shooting pool. We had walked in for something, and the guy, as he's walking toward me, I see his badge on his belt, and you see his gun. And I see it's FBI, and he just says, hey, are you Steve Hill? And I know this is sad. I'm not a role model. I said no, and I turned around and started walking away. and I just, sadly, that was...
What do you think? What was your immediate... Was it the pepperoni? Like, what was
nothing.
the thought? Do you have anything
man,
going through
honest to
your head at all?
God, nothing went through my head. It was, the guy walks up, I see his badge, and FBI guys, I'm sure they're normal guys, but their human interaction, it's very FBI-like. So when he says it, it's, are you Stephen Hill? So I said no, and I was rolling out, man. And but nothing went through my head. That was my initial reaction. So then he stops me and he goes, hey, man, I listened to your show. He's like, all of us do. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's me,
Thanks.
it's me,
Like,
it's me. Let's get a picture.
but he was like, were you seriously going to lie to an FBI agent? And I said, man, it's not that. I mean, I did, but I was like, he's like, that's ridiculous. But no, nothing crossed my mind. I just felt like, I don't want to talk to an FBI agent.
And FBI just
And they
thinks
knew
it's
my
more
name.
It's more of a pride thing. And it's not that like I know some people in the NSA, and they're all mechanics. They travel the world.
Every single one.
That's all they do. They're mechanics, right? Or you remember anyone's in CIA? It's pretty much the same.
Weren't you just to North Korea? Yeah, I'm a mechanic.
Whereas I feel like FBI is just a little more like, actually, we're working on this.
All my NSA friends are in IT.
But wait,
are in IT?
Yeah, they're in IT.
Didn't you have like the neighbor,
not the national invitational tournament,
who had the van?
Oh, yeah, the plumbing van.
Like yeah,
the plumbing van. That was a complete...
and he got drunk in the.
Oh yeah, man, it's like a movie. It was so cool. It's like a movie. A surveillance van is like stepping into a movie.
You know what's weird about the NSA, though?
Here's why, I think. Because it was so... I'm sure there's an easier way to do this stuff now. But when you see that equipment with all that stuff and you see equipment that you've never seen before, and like, look, man, I worked in radio so like the racks of stuff and all that stuff.
Sure.
It doesn't really faze me that much because I see a lot of lights and blinking things and knobs and all that stuff.
But they're just different.
Not that I know how to operate most of those.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But it's not intimidating. Now, when you step into that van and you see equipment that you've never seen before, but you've seen a lot of audio things I could pick up on, like as far as their editing tools and the programs they were using.
Are those Quincy Jones headphones?
Pro Tools at the time. Yeah,
right.
Like, and stuff like that. You could see and go like, oh, I can identify that, but what is that?
One of the crazy things about the NSA, all right, and obviously they're a secretive organization. We know they exist, general idea of what they do, all right, but everything is clandestine. You don't know anything. If you drive in Washington, D.C., the exit that takes you to the NSA headquarters,
that's where my neighbor works.
The biggest, so all this secret stuff, there is no traffic sign bigger than the one that's like, NSA, right here. And I'm like, for a secretive organization, you guys, absolutely, it's this massive, very ugly brown sign. Yeah. But I think they put it up there, the idea being, listen, you don't want to accidentally take this, and this is not a joke. I was trying to return a car at... Is it Dulles or Reagan Airport in D.C., the one like right off of downtown? Whatever it is. I'm trying to return the car. It's like 4:30 in the morning. I have an early morning flight. The car we rented from a place called Crystal City, which is kind of connected to D.C., but if you don't know or remember how to get there, it is very difficult to get there. Mm-hmm. You can drive by it 1,000 times. You can't find the exit. So we're on the phone with the car rental place, and I said, hey, man, we're just trying to return this van. And the guy's like, yeah, he gives me the address. And I said, we know your address. We can't figure out how to get off the goddamn expressway. And he said, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I just drive here every day. So to me, it's back of my hand kind of thing. So we circled through the city 3 times. And by the time we finally found the exit to return it to Crystal City, we were being trailed by 3 black SUVs. And I mean, you're starting to get nervous. Like, we are the only car on the road. It's 4:30 in the morning. We know who's following us. And I understand completely why they're doing it. But it's like, I'm getting really uncomfortable, man. It is no joke.
Stuff.
Yeah, and you have to do a thing. If you happen to accidentally pull off on this exit,
don't do it, man.
You have Grand Prix slalom for like 200 yards. They set up these barriers. Just like, and it takes forever. It's like a half mile of slalom. And you get up to the gate, and you're like, sorry, I got off wrong exit.
Oh, they know. Trust me, they've run your... And I don't know what it is in my name now, man. Somebody with my name...
They just look at you like the DMV, like, mm-hmm.
Somebody with my name has done something bad. Someone with my father's name has done something bad. So for me, dropping off a friend at a military base, I did not realize this had happened. Like anything, they're checking it in. The woman I'm dropping off works for the Department of Defense, all right? And she's not a slouch there. She carries a little weight. They check our IDs, as they always do, and instantly... pull over to the side, and they weren't mean, but they're very authoritative. All right, and instantly, I am told as we pull off to the side, don't do anything stupid. And I'm like, first of all, I don't know why you think I would do something stupid. Second of all, there are 6 guys staring at the car with M16. So I don't know what you think I'm going to do, but I'm going to sit here and be cool. And they kept saying, we know it's you. I'm like, I haven't done anything. We know it's you. But in my head, I'm thinking, oh, boy, I don't know what I did. But it shouldn't warrant this. So they walk over. Is your name Stephen? Yes, it is. Have you ever been to Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany? No, sir. I have never been to Ramstein.
But I've been to Hasselhoff Base.
So they could not give me a lot of the details. They just said, listen, someone with your name, the middle name is what separates. Someone with your name did something very bad there where obviously if I go to a military place, like, so I said, well, what did they do? So we're not at liberty to tell you, but just know, basically don't ever visit Ramstein Air Force Base.
He's on the run.
And I'm like,
so whatever this guy's done, he's on the loose.
So
the worst possible thing that this guy's done, well, we can't tell you about it. Just know he's on the lam.
And now my father, I don't know what he did, or well, not him, but someone with his name. About 10 years ago, it started happening about then. He goes to the airport, has a passport, and he's like, man, they pull his ass out of line, and whoever the airport's, like above TSA kind of people, they are grilling him, man. But again, they don't give up a lot of information just in case you're not that person. So they know he's not the guy, but he even says every time he travels now, as soon as he scans his passport, he just kind of steps off to the side, waits. Here comes security. They do their thing. And it's not him. So I'm like, man, what the hell? So if we share the same last name, stop doing it, man.
Yeah.
Making life difficult.
Random.
People make me nervous. Hello, Nick. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Nick, how are you?
Good. Doing real good.
Let's see.
You know what it means?
Yeah, know what you mean.
All right. Nick, how did you, let's go this one. How did you hurt yourself where you had to go to the hospital? You must have so bad it required a trip to the doctor.
So many times. Let's see. I'd say one of the most stupidest ones was we were actually cleaning the gun tube on an Abrams tank, and we have this big brush made of steel.
Is it like a big, is it really the brush I'm thinking, like a musket brush, but one that's got a real big, fat, you know what I mean, like black bristle on it?
Well, no, the bristles aren't really that big, but yeah, it's something similar to that.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
That's weird. That would be the same.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah, we know what you mean, right?
But I'd say this thing probably weighs 3-4 pounds at most, not really that heavy. But you punch it through the gun tube, and there's a guy on the inside that's supposed to grab it and pass it back down off the tank. Well, as I tell the guy to hurry up and pass it down, I turn away from him, and he tosses it and hits me right in the noggin.
Ooh.
Drops me to the ground, blackout, and of course, I end up at the hospital.
Did you wake up at the hospital or in transport?
No, I woke up on the way there, but ended up with a concussion, a few days off work. But it was not a good thing because that was probably my 13th concussion that year.
13th concussion that year? What the hell is going on? Why did you have so many concussions?
Well, at the time I used to ride bulls, and I'm not all that graceful, if you know what I mean.
How many years did you ride bulls?
I rode bulls probably 16 years.
Okay. And did you ride them professionally?
Amateur professional. I was part of the PRCA for a short time, but with my military career, I could never make a big career out of riding.
Okay.
And then is it one of these things where, like, you start as a kid, you're riding, like, the sheep and the lambs and all this little stuff and move your way up?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Started out mutton busting, worked my way on up to calves and steers, was on the high school rodeo team.
Does that
high school rodeo team?
Does the amount of concussions that you've had in your lifetime, does it worry you? Or, you know, like if, I guess someone whose mom died of breast cancer at the age, young age, a woman would want to get checked. I mean, there's a history of problems with bull riders. Do you worry about that?
Not anymore.
Okay, so you feel like you're pretty well good.
Well, no, he forgets that it's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I mean, because you get kicked in the head by a ton animal, you're gonna hurt. How did you hurt yourself where you had to go to the hospital? The reason we asked the question, this guy is something else. A paraglider was skewered by a giant splinter. This is not a splinter. This is a branch, a large branch.
It is a branch.
Ted, did you see the pictures of this guy?
No, you have to see it.
After crash landing in a forest. Extraordinary pictures show how a tree branch impaled 36-year-old Ivan Krasowski. He was flying near the village of someplace in Russia, close to Minsk, when a strap snapped. And he lost control, and he plummeted into a forest where a sharp log spiked his shoulder when he crashed. Rescuers, they cut him free from the wreckage with about a foot or so on each side and took him to the hospital with a giant log still embedded in his shoulder. He did pose for pictures as he waited to have the branch removed by the emergency ward medics. He was alert and awake during this.
Man, I could not believe he was awake. You have to see this thing. It's unbelievable how big this thing is. He
said that he crashed into some pine trees, and at first he had no idea that he had been impaled. I'm thinking, I fell so softly. All is okay. I'll stand up, and I'll go home. And then some reason, something keeps holding me back. I looked, and it was a giant log there. I tore my shirt, and there was a branch all the way through my arm, thick as a watermelon. Astonishingly, Ivan...
That is not a splinter.
He maintained his sense of humor during the horrific accident, joking that he was like American cartoon superhero Groot.
Okay, that is kind of
Groot
funny.
is a tree-like cartoon, as we know, right? Yeah. Many people came. Groot. I told them, take out the splinter, and they say, no, are you crazy? If we take it away, you'll bleed to death. And I was like, I am Groot, he said.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
That is, it's a little misleading the way they say that.
Yeah.
First they said a twig, then a branch.
If you see the pictures of this branch of this guy's arm, you can't even believe that he has any capacity to joke around about anything.
No.
It's unbelievable.
That's real Russian.
That really is.
It is just so Russian. Right?
Random question, 844-999. Ola, more your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up the categories today, Star Wars and American Landmarks. We'll do Your Guess is as good as mine right after the random question. 844-999. Ola.
Random.
Hello,
random,
Katie.
random,
Welcome to the Men's
random,
Room.
Hola.
Hola.
How are you, Katie?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing good.
I'm so happy to hear it.
Good. All right, Katie. Do you want a random question or do you want an inappropriate question? It's really up to you.
It's honestly, you guys pick. This is my first time calling. I'm so
wow, that's
excited.
awesome.
It's the inappropriate question.
This is your first time ever calling, and now we're going to give you an inappropriate question.
Perfect.
All right.
Sounds good. Let's break the ice.
All right. Okay. And this isn't the most inappropriate question, but it's an inappropriate question. What
All right.
percentage of guys that you see randomly do you truly believe are attracted to you? How many times during the day does someone give you the look that you honestly believe that they would like to go up and talk to you?
Oh, well, that's an actual really good question because I just started bartending a month and a half ago, and I get a lot. I get a lot of looks.
How much more attractive do you get?
Not a lot of talking because they're intimidated.
Well, how much more attractive do you get as the night goes on?
It's the person who holds this elixir in their hand, you know?
Right? Yeah. Well, it definitely, as the night goes on, it gets a little more intense because, you know.
How many times? How long did you say you've been working there now?
About a month and a half, almost 2 months.
All right. And how many times have you been? How many times have you actually been asked out, or for a number or anything?
That's the thing. So I have a boyfriend that I'm in love with, so I tell everybody so they all know him.
Okay. All right.
So they have good respect there.
He doesn't have to be the weird boyfriend that like sits at the end of the bar all night just to make sure that everyone knows that Katie's got a boyfriend, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
He's a bartender too.
All right, okay. Oh, then he's beyond that. All right.
Well, how many chicks hit on him then? I have to think it goes both ways.
Oh, more than me, I'm sure. He's gorgeous.
Do you ever like sometimes, and this will sound bad, but I used to bartend like for a little, maybe like not tell him you have a boyfriend, see if the tip will be bigger?
I'm not a fan of that. Like, I believe, like, if somebody wants to tip me, it should be on how good I am or how good the drink tastes.
Ted used to work that all the time with the kids at Johns Hopkins. He'd just steal their money because they thought he was single.
Yep.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
I never told him that he had a boyfriend.
I never told her I was dating Dan or nothing.
Nothing, yeah, exactly.
And they knew Dan.
Now, did you...
Oh, my God.
And he's a good-looking
Dan's
guy.
another
I mean, look, right. If you would have dated Dan.
and so, did you
I'm also a blonde, so that has a lot to do with it.
Did you hit on your boyfriend while he was bartending, or did you meet him in a different environment?
Oh, no. I met him at his bar and definitely, fell head over heels.
So you picked up the
he's
bartender
beautiful.
at his bar, which is not an easy thing to do, I don't think, is it? I mean,
I think it's easier. I think it's easier for women to do that to a guy bartender than it is for a dude sitting at the bar. To pick up the woman bartender.
To me, that's a foreign world there. Like that's never going to happen. You know what I mean?
of course
Like,
not.
so I didn't know if it actually happened. All right.
Well, I mean, that's one of the bonuses of bartending, dude.
It really is.
Chicks really, it's a good look.
So what?
It's a good look for you.
What percentage? What percent of the guys in the course of a night do you think are expressing some kind of interest? 50%.
Oh, God. It's different with the ones with wives versus the single ones. I'd say, 75 if I'm being
That sounds about right.
Are the ones with wives worse?
Sometimes when their wives aren't around, they like to make little comments. I'm like, dude, she's in the bathroom.
Oh, no way. In the bathroom?
That's what I'm telling you now.
Oh, it's great.
Totally.
You shouldn't go over to the guys while they're sitting alone while their wives are in the bathroom, just to make sure that does not happen. Check
Exactly,
on them,
yeah,
on them
I
when they come
leave
back
them
to the
be.
table. Okay. All right. Very good.
Totally.
Well, thank you for calling the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'm going to call again. This is
All right.
awesome.
Okay. Thanks.
Random.
Well, now she's going to call us back, if you know what I mean. By the way, people are still commenting whether or not we know what they mean. We know what you mean. Hello, Eddie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right. Okay, here's a good one. What would you say is the most annoying eating habit that you have witnessed personally? Family member, friend, significant other, whoever it was that you were eating with, what drove you nuts about it?
Probably the most annoying eating habit I have ever seen, and it was actually my friend Rick, was probably just chomping on his food, like open mouth eating. I hate that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have an uncle that does that.
He would like take a bite of a hamburger or a steak or something like that, and I mean he'd be breathing out of his heavy breathing out of his nose and open mouth eating.
Yeah.
It's like when you're eating when you have a cold.
Or it's what dogs sound like when they're licking their privates, right?
Yeah.
And my uncle, and I got used to it because he always did it, but it's always... And about 2 weeks ago, this dude gets on the elevator, and he is finishing his meal. He does not care, and there was like one drumstick left and like a piece of lettuce. He gets on the elevator, and it's just me and him, and he's doing...
No.
And I'm just like, damn.
Dude, I gotta say, the number one that gets me, if you're talking on the phone to me, do not put food in your mouth.
We can tell.
Yeah.
God.
Random question, 844-999-OLA. Still to come, your guess is as good as mine. Categories come up: Star Wars and American landmarks, also men's room rules, and yes, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.